But the goal isn't to now have 6 different directions. You can now reflect on all of those and say, oh, how response is where I want to go, or it's the when response, or maybe it's a synthesis. Maybe you take a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So it's one of those things, if you're a writer, you have to be comfortable with editing, right? About writing something that you get rid of. A lot of you never want to do that. It's like, but I like that. Yeah, well, maybe you just use it in a different writing or a different time, but being able to edit and cut things is a type of freedom, knowing that I'm going to write something and I may use it or I may not use it. I think that helps creativity. If you think everything time you write something out or type it up, it's permanent, and that then that can restrict your creativity. So getting in the habit of saying, all right, I'm stuck. I'm going to take time, even if it's a short amount of time. I'm going to select, and then I'm going to choose, right? And then you can always go back and re-edit. But if nothing else, you should be able to get unstuck. You may go on and write, and you may need to change direction later on. You may need to edit what you end up writing. But in a short amount of time, you should be able to get unstuck from where you are.
Okay. So I think it's a perfect time to practice that specific mentality or your mindset, because it won't take that long, right? I think so. All of you have written something, except actually one or two students. Uh, if you have not written anything, which I think one or two of you may have not, just pick one topic and try to use those questions, WH questions, right? Who, when, where, how, and what was the other word, Matt? Who, when?
Who, when, what, why?
Okay, why? Yeah. Try to use those keywords. Let's say you got stuck, right? Just as a matter of practice, uh, if you try to see if you have any one of those questions answered, or if you have already asked or not. And if you have not, just make sure you add that point, so that you can repeat the same step in the future, right? So you don't have to ask a lot of questions. We'll just try one, right? I'll give you 1 minute, and then you will share what was the specific WH question you asked in your topic, and then what you answered, and that way we can hear it from all of the students. So if you haven't chosen any topic yet, choose any topic, right? And then like any topic, no rules, and then ask any one of those questions and then write it. So I will start your 1 minute. Okay, is 1 minute enough for you guys? If you cannot complete, just let me raise your hand, right? I will see it, but in 1 minute just try that, and then we'll share, all of you will share. Okay, all right. um, uh, Time starts. All right, let me know if you're not complete, but the 1 minute time is over. Looks like a few of you are a little bit still working on it, so I will add 30 more seconds. All right, your time is over. And I actually like the fact that we are making it through timer, because we're using timer, because that really helps to check your mental preparedness. These are the kind of time that we want to be prepared for, right? Your mind should be really free, and it should be like an athletics, where like if anyone punches you, you cannot keep on thinking like, oh, when should I punch? Should I kick him or punch him? Right? It should just come on the fly, right? So in terms of writing, that's what we want to practice. And in 1 minute should be good enough for you guys to be able to think who, what, when, any one of those questions. So today, I will again go with Urgen Soma, because your video is on the top, okay? And then I will ask each of you after that. So Urgen Soma, can you share with us what you wrote?
Um, in terms of what I have written,
Share your topic and
okay,
then the WH um, what if strategy.
um, the topic is nature,
Mhm.
and the WH question is when and why.
Mhm.
The question is, when am I at ease and peace, and why am I feeling so?
All right,
That's all.
cool. All right, Manju.
Nice.
Hi everyone. So I was thinking about writing about my mother's love. So
Okay,
I kind
Manju,
of got stuck.
just
Started.
one more thing. Your volume is little low. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to write about my mother's love. I was
Mhm.
thinking about my childhood memories when I was in a refugee camp when I was, I think, in second grade. I think I was talking about my mother's love. I don't know. Honestly, this is my first time. I'm really sorry. I don't know what I'm saying, but anyway, mother's love. I didn't write
Okay.
anything. I just
Okay.
got stuck.
All right. So
You
good.
got a what?
Yeah. Now is time.
Actually, got a what?
What was it, Matt? Sorry.
You got a what and a who? You got your mother's
Oh,
love. That'll
oh, oh.
qualify. So now
Yeah,
you could use
yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You still
Now,
answered.
if you wanted a little pushing, you could further go like, how does your mother express her love? How is it unique to her? Why do you think she expresses that love? When do you think she first learned or first started expressing it? Where do you think she learned how to love, right? Or when, where or when did she learn how to do that? I'm trying to think why. Yeah, you can even put why is it important to you? Why is it important to others? So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I just couldn't find the right word.
Yeah, a minute's not a long time. There's a lot of
Yeah.
questions to chase. But just to give you an idea of how you can chase this, and by the way, I'm a big fan of Karma, of doing the short, the time limits. A lot of times, if you have too much time, your
Uh-huh.
brain edits out or cuts out all the good stuff. So a lot of the best creative moments we have are under time constraints,
Yeah.
even if it makes us feel uncomfortable.
All right. So next, I think we have Tenzin Dhundo.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I thought of writing about apple fruits. So I asked myself three different questions. Who prefers eating apples, and how should we eat apples, and where does it grow?
Awesome. Awesome. Nice. All right. So lastly, we have cheering, and then after that, since the whole time is very limited, uh, finally, I had told the students that they could ask any question regarding creative writing to Matt Murray, and any other things we can find out from there, what we can do with Matt and how we can be more useful in the future, right? Since he has been very welcoming regarding this topic of creative writing. So, Tsering, what's your answer regarding the question WH ones?
My topic is global warming.
Okay.
And I wrote who, where, and how. And who is just human, and how is deforestation and wastage, and where is nature and river.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, before the students ask any questions, Matt Murray, do you have any final finishing thoughts to what if strategy or anything you want to share?
No, this, other than hopefully we'll have a chance to do this more in the future, because even this is just a fraction of a process. I'm only sharing it's like in the future I can do maybe a screen share, and normally there's a couple other parts to this, but there's other processes that I think would be fun to share with you as we learn more about the types of writing you're doing. So yeah,
sure.
And I'm excited. Yeah, answer any questions you have or be helpful in other ways. Yeah.
So we'll go with Urgen Somo again. Do you have any questions, Urgen, regarding any questions regarding creative writing, not just what if?
Can I ask now?
Yeah, I think.
So the question I have is, like, I'm trying to write a journal, and it is about my daily basic routine and life, but I don't know where to start and how to start. So what would you suggest me?
Where to start on just a daily journal?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good question, because I wish I had a daily journal. It takes discipline, right? So I think it takes the two big things is discipline, which means consistency, right? So if you're having a hard time starting, I would recommend try to find a time during the day and an amount of time. Like for example, for me, I can write. I can sometimes do a lot of writing in 30 minutes. Like I can do a really good job, but I may need 1 hour of drinking coffee or tea before, right? So sometimes you know what it takes to get you up and going. Sometimes I know people who you give them 15 minutes and they're fine. But I would try to find an amount of time that you can reliably schedule every day. Maybe 6 days a week, maybe 5 days a week. Give yourself 1 day, 2 days a week to skip, so you can rest. But I would try to find, even if it's 15 minutes or 20 minutes at whatever time during the day, if it's in the morning, if it's in the afternoon, or if it's before you go to bed, whenever it is, I would focus on not even the journal. This is going to sound weird. Don't worry about the journal. Focus on writing the same amount of time at the same time of day every day, right? And even if it can be about anything. Now, since you have a journal in mind, it's helpful to try to write what you want in the journal. But again, your focus shouldn't be as much about the journal, but getting in the habit of the discipline of making sure that at this time every day I write for this long. And then a couple things that will happen. One is, as you write a journal, one of the benefits of the journal is that you can see, or others, when you become famous and everybody wants to read your journal, you can see how your thoughts change and progress over time. And that's hard to do if you write once this week and then you take 2 weeks off and then you do the next week, right? So even if it's just a little amount, being the consistency of every single day is going to be very helpful, right? The other thing I think you'll find is, as a writer, that you'll be able to increase that amount of time over time, where it may start out just 15 minutes, but I think your mind, your body, everything will start getting in a habit. And that 15 minutes may turn into an hour over time. And then what you'll find is, even if you have other jobs, other commitments, other things that you want to do or have to do, you'll find that every single day you have a large period of time that you'll be able to spend writing or working on your writing. I think that's so it sounds like now we're talking about an hour a day every day. Don't worry about that. Work on finding 15 minutes, even if it's in the morning before anyone else in your house wakes up, or if it's the 15 minutes before you go to bed. Don't worry about when it is, but try to make sure that you, and here's the other thing, don't judge yourself based on how much you write each time. Judge yourself on how well you can do nothing else but write for 15 minutes. Even if it just means you stare at the blank paper for 15 minutes, as long as you're not watching TV or doing anything else, that's what's important. And it's like you mentioned, Karma, about athletics, right? It's like
Right.
exercise.
Yeah.
It's not, by getting in the habit of every day doing a little.
So we have 3 more minutes. I think we have time for a few more questions. So now we'll go with another male person, Stenjing Dundul. Do you have any question?
Okay, so I want to ask a question. So we write a journal which is all about what we did during that particular day, and like, so can we write something at the morning about what I'm going to do in these days? But if I think about that, which makes us so much something like put on inside a very specific track, like we have to be very obedient and sincere towards our own writings, like well, we are making a strategy for the day, but I think which is making our mind more something very, what is this, so making ourselves limited to do something very particular thing, like we cannot do the thing we wish to do during the daytime, because we have already said that plan and strategy before. But thinking from another angle, which is making our day more productive and very effective, so what would you recommend on these things?
That's a big question. So to understand correctly is
I
oh, did
think
you have something, Karma?
he was trying to keep in mind we have only about 1 minute 30 seconds. So but the question in short was,
Yeah.
can we write about what we are going to do in a journal?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. In fact, I think you can, there's no rules. That's the greatest thing. You can do whatever. And if you can find 15 minutes at the beginning of the day and 15 minutes at the end, that'd be amazing. Cause I like you could write, today I'm going to, and before you go to bed, today I did. And again, don't worry about right or wrong or doing really objective. I think you'd be fascinated to see not just what you did, what you said you'd do, but the things you did that you couldn't predict, right? The surprises, the things that are even more useful. And I think by doing that, it'll help you make better predictions in the future. I think that'd be, wow. If you could
Awesome.
commit to doing 15 minutes when you wake up, 10 or 15 minutes at the bed, that would be an amazing, yeah. And if there's a way that you could catalog it, so over time you could go back, that would be amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. So the rest of the students will get a chance to ask question next time when Matt Murray joins back to the call. We'll try to do it at least once a week, but we'll still have to consult with Matt Murray regarding that. But all in all, today's class has been very useful and productive. So thank you very much, Matt, from everyone for joining the call.